Hi, this is Rebecca from Storyteller Wool, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite books. So I pulled a few off my bookshelf, and I wanted to share with you what I enjoy reading over and over again. So we're going to start from the top. I love this book. I studied with Amy Oxford. I'm a certified Oxford instructor. This book is a class in book form. It's a history book in book form. It's a visual inspiration in book form. This is a gorgeous book. I mean, look, you can see all these wonderful projects. Everything you would need to know about punch needle rug hooking is in this book. And there's even a picture of some of my work in this book. I love this book. It's a second edition. If you get a hold of the earlier edition, it is just as valuable and wonderful. It's a softback book versus this hardback book. So if you find the other version, definitely snap it up. This book has just come out. It's by Simone. She's also a certified Oxford instructor. Again, this is a class in a book. I mean, there's patterns in here. There's just wonderful information. If you're a book learner, you know, this is, look at this. This is just great. So Simone has written a lovely book. I recommend it highly. This is from Rug Hooking Magazine. You can get this book. Now, Rug Hooking Magazine has all sorts of books, and a lot of them are for the traditional rug hooker. But as punch needle rug hookers, we can definitely enjoy them. And I actually do both. I'm a traditional hooker as well as a punch needle rug hooker, and just because these books highlight a piece that used a hook instead of a punch does not mean we can't be tremendously inspired. There's design tips, just beautiful work. Oh, I mean, look at that, about faces. These are fabulous books. So again, these are Rug Hooking Magazine books. So, you know, this one is creative techniques. This one's on landscapes. There's ones on animals, faces. So definitely check out their selection of books. And there's a more practical finishing. Now, this was written for a traditional rug hooker, but punch needle rug hookers, we need to finish our work as well. All these finishing techniques work for us. So we've got braiding in here as a finish. We've got the whipped edge, which is my go-to. Look, there's something about creating fringe, a crocheted edge. I'd really like to try a crocheted edge. I highly recommend this book. I've read through it a couple times. I'm anxious to try more of the techniques in this book. So this is another Rug Hooking Magazine book. Now, there's books that are harder to get, or you might find at a yard sale or at your library. I don't know if this book is still in print. So this is an older book. A lot of the pictures are black and white. There are some color. But look, I bookmarked this because this was interesting ways to treat our backgrounds. You know, we don't want to just go straight lines on our backgrounds. And look at these ideas. So, you know, this is a book for traditional rug hookers, but there's no reason we can't be inspired. I love going to my local library and checking out every single book on rug hooking and reading it and adding any to my library that I find. So I recommend this book. The Rug Hooking Bible is an excellent book. I love that one. Now this is a little outside of our hooking and our punching, but there's no reason we can't incorporate this. I adore this book. Tracy Jamar is a wonderful artist. She takes these standing wool techniques with coiling. Now, and look at this. So why couldn't we, this could be punched, it's hooked. And we got some standing wool and some quillies. I love this. I mean, I just love this. So I say, and I told Tracy when I took a class from her, Tracy is our gateway to hoarding. Once you read this book, there will be no scrap of fabric that you can't turn into something marvelous. So I highly recommend this book. It's so much fun. Now, when it comes to being inspired and finding designs, we can think way outside of rug hooking. So here's a book that I think I found at a used bookstore. It's for stained glass lampshades. So now we need to be mindful of copyright and you know, be inspired by these, but not copy them directly. But you know, looking at this dragonfly and thinking how I could incorporate that into a hooked piece and seeing, you know, how it's segmented out. I find stained glass especially useful in thinking about design layouts. I've used needlepoint books, quilt books, the stained glass. You can be inspired by so many different books. So that's just a little peek at my bookshelf. I have just rows and rows of books, but these are a couple of my favorites. I'm going to end with this guy again because this is just such a visual feast. So I would encourage you to look at your local bookstores, check yard sales, definitely check your library, go on rugcookingmagazine.com and look at their wonderful book selection. You can head over to amyoxford.com for this book. I believe a lot of them are also available on Amazon. So happy reading, and I hope you're inspired.